women have distinct nutritional needs that make coping with natural disasters tougher and harsher. Even disaster rescue efforts discriminate against women. Women make up 90% of the 140,000 people who died in a 1991 hurricane in Bangladesh. African American women made up the majority of those killed and injured by Hurricane Katrina. In the 2006 tsunami that killed scores in Indonesia and Sri Lanka, male survivors outnumbered the female survivors 3-1. In times of disaster and economic stress, women are the primary caregivers. We also carry out much of the household workload after a disaster. All these realities should lead to a single resolve: the efforts to combat climate change and mitigate the risks and challenges it poses to communities should be greater and should be gender sensitive and gender responsive. This means policy should come to terms with the fact that women disproportionately shoulder the brunt of shocks and trends of climate and environment change in the face of continued poverty. They must recognize that this stems from the way people position women in society. They should understand that this is all about power and how power works to exclude and marginalize women sometimes. It is time to redress the subordinate position of women in all spheres of their lives. This Congress will hopefully lead the way and set the guideposts. As we push for gender-responsive and gender-sensitive responses to climate change problems, we ought to lift the barriers to information, as rightly pointed out by Cap Whip. Women need solid grounding on issues such as climate change politics, climate protection, and preparedness through disaster risk reduction. Education and information are a vital part of the effort to make women truly active in mitigation. Programs should explore how they might contribute to enable women and men's autonomous adaptation efforts, since we recognize that people adapt to climate change on their own. We should then lift the social, cultural, and institutional barriers that constrain women